All right, I think we're live, guys. Welcome back to the Thursday, the Entrepreneur Speaker Series. And today I'm so honored and excited to be talking to Michael Silvers, currently the EVP Global Training for PowerTeam International. But I think I want to give a full introduction because Michael has been part of so many phenomenal speakers and teams that he has worked with. He was with TR International, being part of Success Resources, always the lead guy for the mastermind and the training programs. But Michael has a special gift. Michael is a NLP practitioner, and he is here to talk to us about the power of the brain and how to create wealth and abundance using NLP, using your brain, and overall live a joyful and abundant life. So I'm very excited, Michael. And in the same time, I want to say welcome back to the show, Angeline. We have our co-host. I'm so excited to have two powerhouses, which I know both of you shared a great deal of history together. We were just chit-chatting a little bit and all the wonderful experiences that you both shared. So first and foremost, thank you for coming back, Angeline. And Michael, it's my absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you very much. Isn't this great? Everybody with their home studios.
I know.
We're all doing these virtuals, and it doesn't get any better. Life is good. If you hear a dog bark, if you hear a grandkid running around, it's the way it goes nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're nowadays they're saying if you're not zooming, you're not booming.
Yeah,
exactly right. Well, look at one of the foremost videos. I don't know what it's up to. It's over like 2 million videos. Was the gentleman doing the business meeting where his son kept coming in? I mean, if you look at what that has created, because people are like, I can do that. This is awesome. It's a different world.
Yeah, and Michael, I have to say, I know that you're on the west side, so your morning is just getting started. But I just wanted to mention how much energy we're getting from you today, and that's phenomenal because our community is all about power, energy, abundance, right? Trying to live a joyful life, being on purpose. So I just wanted to mention how much energy we're feeling from you here already this morning. So my next question. Do you have like a morning ritual? Do you do something that will prep you, that primes you for the day?
You know, it's the morning ritual is a funny thing because we did so many, right? For the last 15 years, I've lived on the road and I've worked with, and I've been on the stages with Chris Howard and Tony and Harv Eker. And so part of that morning routine is you get together as a team. And so you get up, you get ready, and in about, half hour, 40 minutes, whenever you're ready, you're going to be part of that team and you're going to have the energy of the team. You're going to do the morning rituals together to get ready to move the day because you realize it's not about you, it's about those around you. So when I'm at home, it's funny, there's been, because our grandkids are with us. They've been with us for a couple of years now, which has been awesome because through this whole COVID, right? Everybody uses, that's the term now. But so they are headed to school. So part of my morning routine has been, and they still go to a very small school and they can go. Part of the morning routine is the saying goodbye to them, getting the energy, getting them off right. It's like sending them off to their day and to their right energy. And then typically my wife and I, we spend some quiet time. If I need to ramp up for a call, I usually listen to something. Or I watch Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. There's, you want to put yourself in the right state of mind. And typically what you want to do is it's called heighten your state. Mm-hmm. So I usually do something that heightens my state. I used to use AC/DC a lot. Yes, music is the way it goes. And I'm from the rock and roll 70s. There you go. And it just gets you going. So whatever it is that ramps me up to that level. And I also realize that I'm doing what I'm doing to serve others. And the minute that I push that out, I'm ready to go no matter what. I told Angela knows the story, but it was, and I'm a grandpa, so I can always tell stories. And I also hosted 5,000 webinars, so I'm just used to this. But it's in 2010, Harv needed me in Singapore to step onto stage, and there's 4,000 people in the audience. And I really had not done stages till then. I had always run the back ends, built the coaching divisions, run the trainings, did all that, did all the webinars, did all the calls. And he's like, I need you to go on now. I have a big business call. And I'm like, okay, I've been through the Millionaire Mind a lot, but I've never done. And he just put his hand on my shoulder and like, you will be fine. You will take the brilliance that you are and the greatness you know, and remember it's about them. And I literally, that was at midnight. I had to step on stage at 8 a.m. And I stepped on stage and realized when I looked at the audience, it was not about me. And if I made it, and there's 7 languages going off with translators, and if I make it, if it's all about them, there's never a moment to be nervous again. And that was a huge foundational step for me to be able to do that. Did great. He said, don't sell anything. All of a sudden I had them running to the back table, and I didn't mean to, but because I made it all about them. And I think so. Part of the morning routine is whatever the spiritual side is for yourself, the grounding for yourself, and realize it's about others. And when I train this to 20-year-olds, it's a different story. I do it from a different perspective, but because I remember when I was 20, I would be like, yeah. Anyways, how much money can I make? How can we build a team? But it's grounding that side. So I get up, grandkids out the door, and I realize why I'm doing this, something to sort of heighten my state and then go from there. I'm not exactly what you would call a programmed person. I don't have the same routine every day. It's what is right at the moment to get me where I need to go.
Beautiful. Yeah. Hey, Michael, you know my journey, right? I've been with you almost like 2 years, right?
Yeah, more than that, actually, almost 3 now. Yeah.
Almost 3 now. And you have witnessed my journey, like from the person who is very shy, now, right, develop my own business, coaching business, speak on stage and on the road with you. So all that goes to personal improvement, right? Yep. And you still remember you told us, you said we need to have how many? 3 coaches?
3 coaches,
2
mentors,
and 1 mastermind.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you share that with our community? Why is that important?
Part of when we talk about NLP and the mindset is part of that is you also have to have the people around you who actually help that mindset, who help you move forward, who help you create it, because NLP is about languaging and the language of business, and politicians use it and trainers use it. We all know Tony uses it, Harv uses it, but they don't train it. That's not really, what they're about. They're not about, then you have the ones that train it. And what I realized a long time ago is if I'm on the road all the time and we're creating all these systems and I'm being asked to build these coaching departments and these masterminds, and I basically spent, 5 years of my life living in Australia with my wife we created this together, is that you had to have those that supported you. Because you cannot whine, which we call it, right? Don't complain to ones that are working for you. Don't complain to ones that are you want to always have somebody up above you who is your mentor, somebody you can say, I just had a bad day. Can I just whine for a second and get over it? Because they'll be there. They'll have understood that they'll kick your butt and then keep you going. So I realized that if you put 3 coaches in place, that's 1 coach who just kicks, this is clinical term, right? Kicks you behind and keeps you moving forward. 1 coach that understands your business and can help some of the structure in the system. 1 coach that's for your physical or your mental. You lock in all the different aspects of yourself. Then you need to have the mentors. And the mentors are typically someone who is already, their lifestyle is where you want to be. Maybe it's even being of service, whatever that is. And you also have a mentor that really does understand your business and can help you with structure and strategy and systems, but they're way down the road from you. They don't have to be a billionaire yet. People get really locked into that. They just have to be somebody who can help propel you. And you want to have a mastermind. It's a group of individuals that get together to create something out of nothing. And everybody out there, listen to this. Pay for it. Invest in yourself. The reason that all of us are here is because we've invested in ourselves. Hundreds of thousands of, and Angeline just in the last year. But, it's that investment in yourself will take you to the next level. And then it's like you line up a pyramid. Think of it that way. 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. And so if you line that up in your life, you will continue to move forward. And they will also bring you contacts that you need. But invest in yourself. And Angeline knows this. I say this all the time. Buy every course on the planet.
Yes.
Every book, right? Read every book or listen to books on tape and listen to podcasts now. I have a podcast show. I bring the best of the best mentors on the planet. It's complimentary. It's just, here, I'll plug it. It's the Mentor Studio. Just get on, right? Just get on and listen. And people are sometimes, I don't have the time. you make the time, you make the decision. That's why you have a coach, because your coach builds the time in for you.
Beautiful. Hey, and Angeline, I know, like, what I'm curious about is your particular mission, and when you started to learn about self-improvement, self-development, when you got on board onto that journey, share with us and let us know what the journey was that brought you to Michael, right? Because Michael is such an accomplished man, and you have been part of so many of the great legends on this planet. So, Angeline, what was your process when you heard, like, okay, I need to be part of these masterminds, I want to develop myself? What ultimately led you to Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael, be honest, like, at that time, we have a lot of doubt. We have a lot of fear within us. Is this program going to work? Is this going to work? Right? We invest all this money. Is that going to work out? But this is what I learned, Michael. You never know. You cannot connecting the dots when you move forward. You can only connecting the dot when you look back, right? So at that time, I listen to you. I'm coachable. Whatever you say, Angeline, do it, and I do it, although I don't even know it. And that lead me to you. That lead me to Bill, and now we speak together on the road. So that's a relationship that we build, and all start with, number one, trust the process, right, Michael?
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Number two is being coachable. Yeah,
that's right. And that's the piece that's so important there. It's the being coachable, because when I'm on the phone with somebody, I do these, and I don't do as really much private anymore. I mean, that's been years and years and years, but I like to hold some sessions now, and I book these 15 minutes, and people are like, well, that's not enough time. Yeah, it's enough time because we're not getting into your story. What we're doing is, I've done this long enough that in about 3 minutes, Harvey would say he could do it in 60 seconds, which he could. I know where your blueprint is. I know what that next step is, but you need to trust me as the mentor, right? I can see where the holes are, and I'm going to recommend one of the first things I say when I coach is, how much are you going to invest in the next 6 months in your future? And because I've taken every course on the planet, I'm going to direct you to take this, this, and this, and then we're going to plan to meet again in 3 months after you're done with that, and then we're going to rock your world, right? And I'm looking for the ones who are ready to go, yeah, I'm in, I'm done, I got it. And if they're stuck, I'll break through that stuck in the first 5 minutes of where they're stuck, and then find out what that next step is they need. Because people will come with the I can't do it. And I always say, you have to say yes. Because when you say yes, this is the mental, this is the NLP part. You have to say yes, because as long as it's ecological, no harm to yourself or others, every time you say yes, you expand your world. You open up your funnel. Every time you say no, you close off. And what happens with that is it takes you another year to open back up. So, it was 20 years ago that, my wife and I were doing network marketing. We didn't want to. Oh my God, we thought that's the craziest thing in the world. Nobody's into that, all the negative stuff around it. And within a very short period of time, I'm doing that full time. I'm working from home. I was becoming a nurse practitioner. That was going to be my road. And then a couple of years later, my wife comes home and it's like, this is a good life. But we ran into Bob Proctor really early because he was part of the company. And what are 2 things you need to be successful? And he said very simply, buy every course on the planet and read every book, right? And I've taught that ever since.
Yeah.
And I work with people who will do that. And sometimes people say, but I'm just making ends meet right now because look what's happened. It's been tough. There's so much that you can invest in right now that's so, I hate to use the word inexpensive, but at least you do something and get going. And then when you get to the level, but that's why you work with mentors, because they say, okay, today you're ready. It's time to make that investment in yourself and get going. So,
hey, and Michael, so you have shared the stage. You have been part of like amazing, phenomenal organizations that most of us have heard about. I mean, you have been part of the New Peaks, the Heart International, the boot camps with Hart Ecker and Alex Madasonian and Christopher Howard companies.
Yep.
Can you tell us, because I think that a lot of people watching this are wondering, you have shared the stage with so many of the greats, but what is the one trait or maybe the small details that all of those phenomenal leaders have in common based from your own experience?
Yeah, it's really interesting is because I have, and in working with the companies that are the exclusive promoters for, Robert Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins, and Robert was very different but most of them, first of all, are introverts. So that's an interesting, that's a real interesting, and it was a big learning for me because I thought, oh, you have to be this big extrovert and get out there. Almost every speaker I've worked with is an introvert. And so the minute they're off stage, they need to shut down and really retool and have quiet. And when I saw that, I realized anybody can do this. And because I'm an introvert. When we're done with this, I'm actually going to church. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to, we pray, we meditate, whatever that is. That's how everybody real tools differently. But the one, number one, a lot of them are introverts. Extroverts, we love you dearly, by the way. You're great on stage. And number two, they do have some kind of routine before they go on stage. There is something that gets them ready to take them out of themselves to be there 1,000%. And the other thing is they have a mindset that no matter what happens, right, they're going to always succeed on the other end because they're doing it for the audience. And every single one has failed over and over and over. But failure just leads to that learning, which leads to the process, which leads to the next win. And if you know it's not about you, the failure is just a learning piece, right? And again, I always say, fail, 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 fail. It's great. It's great. It's the only way to bring it forward. And that's the biggest piece I see with all of them. They've all had ups, downs, rights, and lefts. It's not been the magical journey. And you have to look at some of the ages that some of them started and really move it forward and honor them for that. That's the big piece is they keep going. You know what? I lose it all tomorrow. I go bankrupt tomorrow. I'll move it forward, and within a year, I'll be right back up. And then if I go bankrupt again, and there's disasters in my life, and people pass away, and I will be back there again. And that's the biggest thing I see.
Wow.
Because you know why? They invest in themselves constantly. They have their own coaches and mentors and masterminds. Every single one.
Wow. I want to switch it back a gear and bring it back to Angeline, because I know for a fact, like I have gotten to know Angeline in the last couple of months, in the last half a year or so, really, really well on a deeper level. And the one thing that I hear, which you guys have in common, right? The commonality here, it's not about yourself. It's about other people. Angeline, can you share us your philosophy because I hear Michael say, he repeated it a few times, like recognize that this is not about yourself, it's about other people. How does this play a big part in your life?
Michael, I'm not sure, have you been to the wizard camp, right? They have an exercise. They want us to climb up the pole and walk on the very thin string across the other end. You remember that? I'm not sure. Have you done that? And then the exercise of that, it's focus on what you want, right? When you are in fear, you focus on what you want. And then I thought, what I want is helping myself, helping my family. But at that moment, guess what comes up in my mind? I said, I want to help people to become financially independent. I want to help people to become financially independent. And that's the focus that I keep me walk from one end to the other. Hand was shaking, right? So, and I really can resonate with you. It's not about us, right? So when you ask me to enroll in those coaching program, the mastermind, it's not about you. You do it for me, right? You see what I can do. You see the big picture that I cannot see. Right? So I trust you and I listen to what you said, become coachable, and I focus on serving others. I focusing, if I can get better, I can help other people to get better.
That's right. And that is a huge piece because you also attract people to you. That's what people have to realize when you continue to do that. We still get emails today. I know both of us, and I get people saying, just tell me what I should invest in next. Tell me what should I do next? Because they begin to trust you because you lead them down paths that really make a difference. And that's a critical piece to be a mentor, is to really make sure it's always about them. And to get through that, we all have that fear base of, I'm at A, I'm going to go to B, then I'm going to go to C, and it's a step process. But sometimes you jump a bridge and you get a little bit further, but you keep moving forward. I mean, I have, did I expect we launched 12 podcasts. We've done all these things that I never expected to do, and I had some fear around it. Do I have enough to say? I had the same thing everybody else. And then on one of my last podcasts, I interviewed the guy Steve's the producer for Genesis and Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. Now he's telling me, hey, I said, I love Peter Gabriel. He's been a big influence. He's like, well, I might be able to get him on your show. I'm like, okay. These kind of things you have to ask, but you also, it's like you put it out enough in your life and you do the things that your mentors say to do, and it just attracts it to you.
Wow.
And Michael, I have one question, because you mentioned about NLP, right? And a lot of people, like you mentioned, you have done network marketing, you start other business, you're uncomfortable. Yet many people, they have this fear of rejection. What other people are going to think about me? And how do we use this NLP? How do we program our mind so that we become fearless, so we can step into the person that we're meant to be?
Yeah. And that's actually an important point. Step into the person that you're meant to be. So in NLP, there's some very simple processes around that, where you basically just take yourself, you step forward and you step into your power, into your glory, into your of service, whatever that is. They take just a couple minutes, and that keeps you, and then you can just do it over and over and over and over. And the great thing about that is there's nothing difficult. A lot of people don't know it's even neuro-linguistic programming, right? A lot of people still don't know what NLP is. You have to realize how many people don't know who Tony Robbins is, right? I can walk down the block in my neighborhood and nobody will know who Tony is except for maybe 1 out of 100. We're on this mission of education and learning and knowledge. We're on this mission of becoming bigger and better at what we do. And it's a simple process of, this is who I am right now at the moment. This is who I'm going to become. I'm going to be scared. I'm going to have fear. At the same time, I'm going to surround myself with the right people that I will continually move no matter what happens. That's why we say 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. And get out of your own head. Stop. It's because it's the what's in it for me always comes up. But how about what's in it for my community? What's in it for my children, my grandchildren? What's in it for my cousins, my aunts? And that really shifts. That's a frame shift in NLP too. That you shift that thought that we're all connections, and sometimes you just have to the connection and then go forward.
Hey, Michael, I have a few questions from the audience tuning in here, and people, they are completely resonating with why coaching is important, and they seem to be loving your formula almost, if you can call it that way: 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. But what in your definition is the difference between a coach and a mentor?
The question that always comes up. Okay, so no disclaimers on this, but basically, it's very simple to me. A mentor is somebody who is in a position of where you want to be. So they're either financially ahead or lifestyle ahead or whatever that is. They're further down the road than you are. A coach does not need to be that, but a coach is somebody who spurs you to that next greatness that you can become. So it might be simply an accountability coach, somebody who's just, a daily phone call, a weekly phone call to keep you accountable. It's the coach that understands your business, might be in the same position you're in, but maybe gets it from a different perspective and can redirect you. A coach is somebody who can help you with the physical and mental part of yourself. But the mentor, again, is further down the road. That's the simplest way to put it. And they might only be 5 steps down the road. They might be 10, because sometimes if they're too far down the road, you have some trouble relating to what they're trying to teach you or make the connection together.
That's amazing. So I think that really answers a lot of the questions that are out there, because I think that people are always wondering about the 2, right? We hear a lot, especially now everybody's on the internet. So coaches and mentors, but what is the difference? So that explains very well. Thank you. One of the other questions that we're getting through is, you mentioned earlier that when you say no, Michael, when you say no, you close yourself up for an opportunity or a new direction in your life and potentially abundance and achievement. But why does it take 1 year to get back into the game?
Well, think of it this way. you learn a combination to a code in a safe. Think of it that way. So it's got, let's say there's 3 digits, you dial the code, you open up the safe, life is good, and you memorize that, and you know it, and you learn that. And then you change the code, but you say, no, I don't want to learn it. No, I don't have the time. How long would it take you to figure out what 3 digits you just put in? You have to take a look at it from the way the mindset works. It's easy to close the door, but how hard is it to open up a door again? You talk to a mentor out there and he's like, I will train you, and here's the investment, and you say no, he might never talk to you again. So you have to think of every time you do that, what door do you close? What do you say no to? And what is the fear around saying yes? See, that's usually where you have to get into that piece. What is the fear of saying yes? Well, they'll take advantage of me. They'll take my money. They'll take my time. I don't have the time. It's time and money. Yeah. It goes right back to time and money. So if you keep saying yes, you transition yourself to that next level. And when you say yes, you can always ask, is there a payment plan? Is there another? I mean, you ask for what you want, you get it done.
Yeah. Become a yes man. I always love the movie with Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yes.
And it's got a lot of great points to it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yep, I know, Michael, you have to run. And I know you also bring amazing gift for our community. And what would that be? It's time to reveal that right now.
Community. I love community. So first of all, community, what I want you all to do is just go to thementorstudio.com. Everybody listen to the podcast. But I'm giving a gift of a 15-minute power session, and Anjali knows I don't do this, right? But because I know you, and you've been such a great mentee, I'll say that, and such a big part of my life, that 15-minute power sessions. And so all you need to do is text the letters SBA. That's Sam Boy Adam, SBA, to 26786. You are then going to, I will get that today. I will text you back. If you get a text from a 425, it is me. It's not spam. It's the funniest thing. Who's spamming me? You just opted in. And I will set up within the next week a power session with you. I take no prisoners. I don't mess around. I've been in the biggest, baddest, and most best positions in life. Just get ready to move. And don't be fearful to do it now. So text SBA to 26786. My gift to your community, and it's over in a week. So they got to be, let's ready to play, and let's get it done now.
Yeah.
So the people who are watching this, Michael, that see the value and want to get in touch with you, you're saying that everybody that is listening right now can text those letters to that number to get that power session with you to cause their next breakthrough.
That's correct. That's correct. And realize I'm going to ask them 2 important questions, so be ready. What are you going to invest in yourself in the next 6 months? And what are you ready to do right now?
Wow. Beautiful. So good. Well, there you have it, community. I know time is short, and I know that there's so many more questions, but take advantage of that power session, because you may be able to get that one question answered that will change everything. And Michael, it was such a pleasure and an honor to have you. We are really excited with all the lessons that you taught us. The team here is digesting all the show notes here today. Angelina, as always, thank you so much for bringing us in touch, for bringing these game changers. And the both of you keep on inspiring and changing lives, because it's not about us.
Yep.
It's about other people.
It's about other people. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Looking forward to speak on the road with you. All right.
Absolutely. All right. Both of you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Yes, you will. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. So there you have it, community. A phenomenal interview with Michael Silvers, an absolute giant, a very, very accomplished man. As you just heard in his stories, traveled all over the world, setting up events for T.R. Vecker, for Bill Walsh, for Christopher Howard, part of Success Resources, shared the stage with Tony Robbins, and the list goes on. Angeline, what was in your opinion your big takeaway? What stood out? What Michael had to share with us today?
It's not about you, it's about others, right? So often why we have fear, because me, I. So when we can take that out of our equation, the life become easier. We can breathe better. Of course, this is not something that you're going to learn at one time. You get it right away. No, it's a practice. Even today, I still practice. Yeah, it's a daily practice.
Absolutely.
It's not about us. It's about others. That's one thing, Rob. Another one, the mentors and coaches in my life. The reason I can have what I have today, if not because of them, it may take me another 10 years to figure out myself. But because I'm willing to invest in myself, and it accelerate my success, accelerate my learning curve, I believe at least 10, 15 years.
And let's talk about that real quick, because here's the question that I always get, right? I think now that we're all on the internet, especially in 2020, when people sought out the internet to get more information, to keep themselves above the water, right, with the pandemic, people always ask me, Rob, what are the benefits of mentoring or coaching? I know you must have some strategies, but I don't personally believe that that is the real value. In your opinion, why would you say that mentors and coaches has accelerated your life? Where is the secret sauce into mentoring coaching that has, accelerated and caused your life to be at another much, much bigger level than you were maybe 10, 11 years ago?
So let me give you a quick example. Like, Rob, I speak with Bill Walsh, right? This guy has developed maybe above 10 years of experience. If I were to go out and learn and trials and error by myself, it would take me maybe 10, 20 years to get to him where he is right now. So by me coaching me, and it accelerate my learning curve, right? He said, hey, this is what you're going to do, 1, 2, 3, and then just do it instead of trying to figure out myself. And then with the connection, I can be able to speak on his stage, on other people's stage. And all this, there's no way I can do it by myself. So what I'm looking, it's about the key words called leverage, right? In real estate, you leverage other people's money. In business, you want to know how to leverage other people's knowledge.
Yeah. And that reminds me of something that our common mentor, right, the mentor that we share time with every single week, always emphasizes on. What is the fastest way between point A and B?
Yeah.
What is it?
The straight line.
One straight line. And I love that analogy, because that's basically what you're saying. Be coachable and just trust in the process, 1, 2, 3. So that 10, 15, 20 years that our mentors, it took them to figure out how to get where they are today. They're just giving it to you like a blueprint, a roadmap to get there in the fastest way possible. And I think for most people, we go through life like this, like it fluctuates, right? They have peaks and they have downs. But if you can remain consistent, one straight line, that's how you get to the top in the fastest way possible.
And also, Rob, the most important thing is, as a mentor, as a good mentor and coaches, they will hold you accountable. Like you said, from point A to point B, we all know it's a straight line, but we always go this way, right? Zigzag. So the mentor and coaches and help us, bring us on track, hold us accountable so we can go from A to B.
And I have one more question for you that I really want to bring home on today's show, since the topic today it's all about the power of the brain and connecting the brain and operating at a higher frequency. And Michael talked about practicing NLP. But in your life, Angeline, what do you think was the major difference, let's say when 10, 11 years ago, when you just came to the United States with a different set of programming? How have you been able to change the brain, to be able to change your thinking to attract more wealth and abundance?
So, Rob, that's a great question. It's not been easy. I still remember my first event with Tony Robbins. That was in 2014. That was 6 years ago, right? and I want to. I will be open with your community. The old me, I was under like, I'm not sure, is that the postpartum depression or something after I have kids, right? I just become like very depressed. I was sad all the time. I'm not as you see right now, right? You must say, oh, Angeline, you're depressed. Yeah, that's who I was before. I get angry very easily and I get frustrated very easily, right? So how do I change? How do I continue to grow? Because when I went to Tony's event, I make a commitment. I said, I'm going to live in the beautiful state no matter what. And then I was in peace state. And then when I go back, I fall into my old program self again. So that takes a tremendous, number one, I would say decision, right? I make a decision. I said, I'm tired. I'm tired of who I was before. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to create so much stress around the people around me, around my kids, around my husband, right? I want to change. I want to change. So I continue to recondition myself. I go back to the event every single time. You know how many times I've been to Tony's Unleash Your Power Within? I would say I've been at least 5 times.
Wow.
Walk on fire 5 times. So it takes me reconditioning, right? Reconditioning. So I feel like, Rob, it's been how many years? 6 years. I feel like this year, 2020, is my year of transformation for my mind, body, and spirit. And I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm going to divorce the old me. I'm going to live my light. I'm going to serve others. I'm going to focus on others. I don't want to live me in my old limit self anymore. I'm tired of it. So I think the number one is you got to have make a decision that you make a choice, right? You can make excuse or you can make a choice. I don't want to make excuse anymore, Rob. I'm tired. It creates a lot of stress in my body, in my life. I'm not joyful. And now I make a choice. I make a decision. I want to serve.
Beautiful.
It's a decision.
Thank you so much, Angeline, for opening up. And I know that this is very, very personal, guys. And I'm so grateful to be able to pick your brain here, because I think that this is really where the magic transformation happens. So for those of you watching, I hope you're taking notes, because this is all real stuff from real people with real results, right? These are some very, very accomplished people, including our own Angeline Waymeyer. So if these people took these transformational decisions, and across the board, if you have been watching our interview series every single week, a lot of these patterns are repetitive. You see, a lot of the great people out there, they have the same repetitive decisions and transformational journeys that they followed. Then if we can do it, you can too.
And Rob, I want to add one thing. I like to make things simple, right? Decision will get you started, but commitment, it's what keep you going, right? I make a decision, I want to change. And then I commit mentor after mentor, event after event, until I reprogram my mind. So decision get me started, but it's the commitment that made me transform.
Wow. And Angeline, maybe we can close it off today's interview with the joke of the chicken or the egg and the pig. Yes, please. Would you please share the commitment joke? You always crack me up whenever you tell me the joke. Can you please close us out?
You know that, Rob. You know that story.
But I could never be able to tell it in the way that you do.
So this is what I learning from my mentor. I also teach my kids, right? The other day we were having breakfast. We're having bacon and the egg. And then I told my kids, let me tell you the story about bacon and the egg. It's about evolvement versus commitment, right? So the egg and the bacon have a conversation on the plate, right? And then the egg would complain, oh, tomorrow I need to push again to lay another egg so Angeline can have her breakfast, right? But the bacon said, egg, all you did was just lay egg. You just evolved with Angeline's breakfast. But I sacrificed myself to make Angeline's breakfast. So you just involve in Angeline's breakfast, but I commit because I sacrifice myself for Angeline's breakfast. So I teach this to my kids. I say, kids, understand the difference between involvement and commitment.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good and so true, guys. So the real question, and this is how I want to close off this interview today. Are you interested or involved into what you currently do? Or are you committed to do whatever it takes to change your life and to get that desired result? Think about that. Are you the chicken, the egg, or are you the bacon?
I love what you said.
So much, Angeline.
Whatever it takes, right?
That's it. Guys, there you have it. If you found value in today's interview, please pay it forward. And the way to do that is to either tag a friend on this interview, somebody that has to see this, share it with your community, people that can benefit from this message, and tune back in with us at next week with another phenomenal guest at 10:15 Central Time. Tune in with your life questions to get them answered on the spot, but also we're giving away, we do raffles, we do giveaways, because we're here to serve and provide value to the community. So guys, thank you so much for watching. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm your host, Rob Zweerman, and I will see you on the next episode.
See you. Thanks, Rob. You rock today.
Thank you so much. See you soon, Angeline. Bye-bye.